اللهم كن لوليك حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوى وتمته فيها طويلا. First of all, my felicitations to all the Muslims of the world in general and to Mu'mineen in particular on the auspicious occasion of the birth anniversary of the Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi. May Allah hasten his return. Praise and blessings be upon our holy Prophet and our leader Muhammad and his pure and immaculate progeny. My name is Hakim Abid Hussain and I am a doctor by profession. Alhamdulillah, we are all under the shade of the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. This wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen, besides having individual dimension, also has a social dimension. The concept of social dimension of wilaya is like a rosary. We are all individual beads of the rosary held together by the thread of the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen. This is true about everyone and also true about the medics of our community. Doctors of our community are a dedicated lot, many of whom are doing community work at an individual level. It has been my wish that rather than working individually, they work in a coordinated way so that the working becomes more efficient. With this view, I took an initial step of starting a WhatsApp group with the name of Imamia Medics of Kashmir. I was not sure about the response, but to my surprise, the response has been overwhelming. In this short time, we already have 369 members in the group, both local as well as those working outside Kashmir. Mere setting of WhatsApp group has been beneficial in many ways. Doctors have come to know one another. There have been facilitations of cross consultations, and many patients have benefited from these. There have been occasional facilitation of employments, and there has been an extensive exchange of ideas and information. Seeing this as one, it seemed proper, and with the consultation of the members of the group, we thought it prudent to move on to the next level of establishing an organization. We started with an appeal for volunteers, and I am lucky to have been able to assemble a team of young, highly talented, efficient, and dedicated doctors. This group is presently active in doing the preliminary groundwork. We have established our office on the Srinagar Baramulla highway at Lawepura. The group is now busy with registration of the trust, establishing a bank account, and setting up memberships. One of the most important tasks is to establish the constitution of the organization in consultation with legal experts. We are fully aware about the importance of this task. I understand that our community has had a bitter experience over the years and the community has become skeptical. There have been no lack of support. There has been no lack of support from the community itself, but problem has been on our side. We are fully aware of our responsibility regarding this aspect while establishing our organization. We have tried to analyze the causes of the failure of some previous attempts and are determined to learn from the failures and put in place foolproof mechanisms to prevent a repetition of past mistakes. We are dedicated to two most important values which we are trying to inculcate in our constitution, and these are transparency and accountability. We are fully aware that as we start our project, we will have to face the consequences of this skepticism. But we try to overcome this by our work. We want our work to speak for us, and we are determined to break this wall of skepticism and mistrust. We are very optimistic and have full faith in the sincerity of our community. As Allama Iqbal says, नहीं है ना उम्मीद इकबाल अपनी कश्त वैरां से जरा नम हो तो ये मिट्टी बहुत जरखेज है साकी. Our vision. For achieving something, you have to dream big and have firm faith in our abilities. So, what I am going to lay out as our vision may look unachievable and hypothetical to many, but we are determined to tread this path. We are not looking at short term superficial objectives. Our aim are long term. We want to put in place a mechanism which does not depend on individuals and does not die with the death of individuals. We may initiate it, but we don't have a monopoly on it. We may run the show for a few years, but ultimately we have to hand over the mission to others who will carry it on. So, if our goals and project appear unachievable, it is because they are long-term goals. Besides this, it is our belief that it is always better to try and fail rather than not trying at all. Even if we achieve a fraction of these goals, that is in itself an achievement. We need to have faith and get over our doubts. I quote Rama Iqbal here. खुदाए लम यज़ल का दस्त कुदरत तू ज़बां तू है यकीन पैदा कर ए गाफिल कि मगलूब उमा तू है. Our activities will be purely related to medical field with absolutely no link to any political party or organization. Any person who is involved in any political activity or is a member of any political organization or party cannot be a member of our organization. Although our name is Imamia Medics and members of various bodies of our organization will all be followers of Shia faith, we are determined to be absolutely non-sectarian when it comes to deliverance of services. Services will be delivered irrespective of sectarian affiliations. We understand that our aims and objectives will evolve as we move ahead, and with the support and advice of our mentors, we will grow with over time. But as of now, we have in mind certain vital areas on which we need to concentrate. Our first objective is to establish a network and a platform and place it at the disposal of the respected members of the medical fraternity of our community in case they have any projects which they want to implement for the benefit of the community. Data collection is one of our priorities. We understand the absolute necessity and importance of data. We know that data is power. We aim at trying to establish a database of our community which will have demographic, economic, medical, and educational parameters. We will try and establish a digital database which can be uploaded and filled by our volunteers in cities, towns, as well as remote villages of the valley. Those responsible for collecting the data may be volunteers in the area or, if necessary, paid employees. They will also help to generate some employment. This database will help us to plan our activities, and we intend to keep it available for anyone who is involved in various parallel activity or research. Primary and preventive healthcare will be our core focus. We will concentrate on both primordial as well as primary prevention. Our main focus will be on prevention of infections and nutritional disease. Besides non-infectious chronic disorders as hypertension, diabetes, smoking, dyslipidemia. Primordial and primary promotion of prevention of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease and stroke will be our important focus. Primary preventive activities generally are low cost activities with very large benefits. Giving example of hypertension detection, giving example of hypertension, detection of which requires just a blood pressure measuring apparatus and treatment is very cheap. Meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials, including several 100,000 patients, have shown that a 10 millimeter mercury reduction in systolic blood pressure or a 5 millimeter mercury reduction of diastolic blood pressure is associated with reduction in all major CV events by 20%, all-cause mortality by 10 to 15%, stroke by 35%, and heart failure by 40%. This data clearly determines the importance of simple, low-cost primary healthcare interventions. One of the most important problems we want to focus on is cancer screening. The importance of this is obvious. We all know that cancer devastates the affected person as well as the entire family. Although treatment has improved, but overall prognosis of, say, stage 4 cancer continues to be dismal. There are many cancers which can be detected early in their course if we have a robust screening program in place. We have many doctors in our community who can help us in this aim, and we are looking forward to try and establish a robust cancer screening program for our community with their help. Women health is one of the important but neglected field. We are aware that women of our community, particularly in rural areas, are usually a disadvantaged and neglected section of our community, in spite of the fact that it is only a healthy woman who can raise a healthy family and in turn a healthy society. We have in our community many highly experienced, dedicated, and efficient women doctors in various specialties like gynecology, surgical oncology, etc. We look forward to use their experience and expertise to try and improve the overall health of the women of our community. Child health is another area we need to focus as today's children are the future of our community. We will particularly concentrate on vaccinations, infectious disease prevention, and nutritional disorders, which are so common in the areas, especially in rural areas. Health education will be one of our most important focus. Ignorance about even most basic medical facts is very widespread in our community. We are fully aware of the vital importance of health education. Health education, we believe, is another low cost strategy with maximum benefits. Many of the important medical problems of our community have their roots in ignorance. Health education will therefore be one of the most important focus of our activities. We want to specially target the economically backward sections of the community. One of our projects is to identify these economically underprivileged sections of our community, both in cities as well as villages. They will be issued a card on the lines of a BPL card. And with the help of respective doctors of our community, we'll try and arrange for their free investigations and treatment. We will need to take help from many labs working in our community for this. As we know, drug addiction is a growing menace with disastrous consequences, which disrupts families and has the potential of disrupting whole communities and societies. We intend to coordinate with the psychiatrists of our community to see what can be done to tackle this menace. Disaster management. Kashmir has had seen two major disasters in recent years, which have had devastating effects: the earthquake of 2005 and the floods of 2014. Our community was also affected by these. I was personally actually involved in the first as we established a camp at Kamalkot, Uri, which lasted for about a month. Preparedness for such disasters is something we need to work on. Many of our esteemed colleagues work and live outside of our state. We understand that while they work outside, their families back home, especially their old parents, have many health issues, which is a constant source of worry for them. We want to work to alleviate this important problem and put in place a program wherein the medical problems of their families back home will be taken care of so that they feel secure. We will work out the modalities of this program. Continuous medical education of our doctors is one more aspect we want to concentrate on. We have some brilliant doctors who are in the job of teaching. We want to make use of their knowledge and expertise to raise the level of medical knowledge of the medical fraternity and try to keep them updated about the recent advances. We propose to arrange a regular CMEs in this regard. This is a time of competition. We want our students to be at the top. In this aspect, we want to set up a reading room with internet access as well as access to all major medical journals, which will be free for our students so that they can compete in entrance examination both at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. This is our vision. As I said in the beginning, this might sound only a dream, but as we know, people who have the strength to dream are the ones who achieve these dreams. We are optimistic that with the cooperation of our community in general, our doctors in particular, and with the help of the Imam of our age, may Allah hasten his return, we will be able to achieve our aims. Thanks. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.